Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Andy Ogg, and on behalf of TravelProfessionalNews.com, HomeBaseTravelAgent.com, and FindAHostTravelAgency.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and thank you for taking the time out of your very busy days to spend it with us. Known as a straightforward and energetic force in the industry, our speaker today is Jenn Lee, a personal friend and a wonderful colleague of Travel Planners International. She's the VP of Industry Engagement and Support. Jenn isn't shy about her obsession with helping travel advisors build their empires, no matter the size, and her advice is always spot on and relevant. When she's not working, you'll find her cheering on Bama football, playing with her grandchild, Elisa, and enjoying life with her friends and a nice Pinot Grigio. Today's webinar topic is 3 simple reasons you didn't get the sale and how to fix it now. 2 very lucky attendees will win a 30-minute consultation with Jenn, so be sure to listen carefully for your chance to win. I will ask some prize giveaway questions at the end. Please remember that you are muted, but we welcome your questions. You can type those questions in at any time in the question area you see on the right-hand panel of your screen. When the presentation is over, we will take as many questions as we can and have time for. So let's turn the microphone over to my friend Jenn so she can get started. Welcome, my friend Jenn.
Well, thank you, Andy. It's always a pleasure to be here. And actually, I'm going to do a different presentation. I'm going to do the personality selling presentation, gaining control from the beginning. And it's a presentation that I've done numerous times for our TPI advisors at our events. And it is without a doubt the most popular topic, mostly because so often advisors say to me, oh my goodness, I listened to it, I took notes, I started to implement it, and then I got, they don't say lazy, but they kind of get lazy and they forget about it. So I like to do it often. And it's really geared around the notion that we have basic personality sets, all of us, right? Like, you know, some people are super outgoing, some people are introverted, so on and so forth. But in general, we all have we have one of 4 different personalities. And you may have remembered somebody talking about it like DISC, D-I-S-C, you know, where it's like you're dominant, you're introspective. I can never remember it because it's so confusing. Well, what I'm going to talk about today is something that I learned many years ago in my real estate career, and it truly, without a doubt, changed the way I speak to folks. It changed my perspective on what's important to them and helped me adjust my approach so that I was connecting with them. And that's probably the first thing I want to talk about is connection. Because in sales, right, Andy, sales only really comes about when, or actually even a relationship. A good relationship comes about when you are connecting with somebody, right? Would you agree with me on that, Andy?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
completely agree.
Yeah, without connection and the emotional connection, it's just a transaction. Even online connections, even when you are buying something online, the words they use, the colors they use, the angles they use, the process that they put you through are all designed around kind of putting you in a situation where the person you're trying to sell feels connected to you. So when I was getting ready this morning for this presentation, I wanted to find a couple of quotes that I thought were really important that kind of set the stage. So the first one is, and people who've heard me speak know I say this over and over again, people buy on emotion and justify logically. Everyone makes a purchasing decision, and a purchasing decision can be something as simple as making a decision, right? It doesn't even have to require monetary transactions, but they make a decision on emotion. And then if there is some sort of logic that may be an obstacle along the way, they justify it logically. So people buy on emotion and justify logically. The next quote is, the most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen. And have you ever been in that situation, Andy, where you're like talking to somebody and all they're doing is talking, and you know that they're not listening to you or asking questions, right? or you're talking,
Oh yeah.
or you're talking and they're on the phone, or you can tell that you might have made a statement, but you kind of go past that statement. In order to connect with someone, you really have to listen to the other person. And what I'm going to talk about today, these 4 different personality types, plays a key role to this, because in order for them to hear you, right? If you're speaking, they're not listening unless you're speaking in their language. And if they're speaking and you're not understanding that they may be speaking in a different language than what you're used to, then you're not going to connect. And so connection is key. You got to connect emotionally before we can do anything else. The next is understanding the concept that people buy from those they know, like, and trust. Have you ever heard that before, Andy?
Oh yes, that's a fundamental retail outline right there.
Exactly. And I just realized I forgot a comment in there. Sorry about that for the grammar. But this is a Bob Burg quote, which I love Bob Burg. If anyone's ever read any of his stuff, it's really good. Burg, B-U-R-G, Bob Burg. Anyways, he's the one that came up with the concept, or the one that kind of made it famous. People buy from those they know, like, and trust. Well, how's anyone going to like and trust you if you don't connect with them? Right? And you can't connect with anybody unless you're listening to them and speaking to them in a way where they're listening to you. You see how this is all kind of playing together? And then
Totally do. Absolutely.
Yep. And then the last one is success happens when opportunity meets preparation. Does anybody know who said that? Success happens when opportunity meets preparation. And you're the only one, Andy, that can actually see all their comments. So I would love to find if anyone knows who actually said this. I'm not going to say it yet. Tell me when you see some answers.
I'm looking here.
Success happens when opportunity meets preparation. And the reason I brought that quote up is it's not enough to, if at the end of this, through this webinar, you're going to learn a really basic tool to be able to truly connect with somebody. And it's only going to be successful if you're prepared along the way. So the notes that you take today, and if you implement what I'm sharing with you, you will be successful, because opportunity is always going to present itself to you. Has anyone given you an answer?
I'm not seeing any yet. I think we're all stumped.
Oh my God, it's Zig Ziglar. Ziglar.
I just saw one. Arietta Cosby. Literally, as you said it, I saw it pop in. So yes, you got it.
Way to go, Mary. Way to go. I love Zig Ziglar. He's got the greatest quotes, but it's so true. It only happens when opportunity meets preparation. All right, so I've laid the foundation. So let me take us to the next thing. This is going to be a 4-step process. First thing we're going to talk about is understanding how we're all so very different in our personalities. And write this word down: what motivates us to make a decision. Because every core personality has a different motivator behind it. So the first thing to understand is that we all have differences. What motivates you to make a decision can be completely different than what motivates me. But that doesn't necessarily mean what you have to sell, I'm not interested in. It just means that for me to connect with you, you have to understand how I'm motivated. The second thing is understand who you are and what motivates you. Because once you understand your core personality type, and then you understand the other people have different personality types, then you're going to understand who others are and adjust your approach to connect. Make sense? All right, let us move on. All right, so the 4 personality types are bulls, owls, lambs, and tigers. And I did not make this up. This was done by a gentleman by the name of Charles Clark, and it was designed to educate new home sales folks who are working in the new home communities, how to close more sales more often and quickly. And the idea behind it is that everyone's got maybe 2 of these 4 personality types are their motivators in making decisions. Once you understand the personalities and what motivates them, then you'll understand how to adjust your approach. So let's start with bulls. So bulls they like to get to the bottom line. They are very much get to the point kind of people. They're fast to decide. They're very fast paced in the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they drive, the way they write. They're very fast paced. Like these are just quick-witted, quick responders. They can make quick decisions. They can analyze things really quickly. They're very results oriented. Everything about anything that you're talking to them about, they want to know how it benefits them. I mean, everybody does, but they really want to know how it improves their life. They need to control the situation. You know you're in the presence of a bull when, let's just say they interrupt you in the middle of your conversation, like they interrupt your sentence, like they get so impatient and they don't have time to listen to you. And prestige and status are super important to a bull. The key to this is, and that's their motivator, prestige and status are their motivator to make a decision. So, and they also want you to get to the point, right? So how does that play a role in you speaking to them? Well, if you're somebody who has this long, you want this long drawn out conversation and this consultant type of scenario to understand what their needs are for their trip, they're going to probably lose patience very quickly. So you have to adjust, and I'm going to go back and tell you what to do for each of these. Oh, hey, Andy, I'm hearing something in the background. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm good to go. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries. So how does this affect the way you approach it? I'm going to go back and tell you how. But a bull, bottom line, get to the point, fast to decide. They usually walk around and say, I've got the greatest car, I've got the biggest house, I want the biggest suite, I'm number one in what I do. And I'd love for everyone to just type into the chat, who in your life is a bull? You can just say the name, or you could say who they are, a friend, a husband, a wife, a mother, a father, a boss. There's a lot of bulls out there. So I want everyone to be thinking about that. Who is a bull, and have them in your head. Who is a bull in your family? And Andy, who's a bull in your family, or somebody that you know?
We got some family members. I can be a little bit of a bull myself. I'll be honest. I can take that role a couple times. Yep. when it comes down to doing things. So yeah, I know some people. Let's just say that we got a lot of great comments. We got my uncle. We got clients. We got me and my husband, sister-in-law, former bosses.
Yep. Yep. Well, and I'll tell you oops, sorry, I went ahead. The bulls are very strong personalities. Then they can be quiet bulls, but they're very quick. And I'm going to tell you how this makes if you're not a bull and you're talking to a bull, you've got to become a bull. You've got to adjust your process for them, because they'll just eat you alive, take advantage of you, won't do what you need them to do, or you'll lose the sale because you didn't make them feel prestigious enough. Okay, so bulls, and I will tell you guys, bulls are the easiest to sell and the easiest to maintain, believe it or not, if you understand that you're talking to a bull. All right, the next one is the owl. And I always feel like I have to hoot like an owl when I do this. Hoo, hoo. Owls are your detail-oriented people in your life. They like the full presentation. They take time to decide. They're slower paced. There's no mistakes allowed in the owl's life. They're the one that before I even said that there was a missing comma in that slide, they had already probably written down there's a missing comma, or they noticed it immediately. And they don't like mistakes. They're very time conscious, and they're early for appointments. Surety is what's important to an owl. So an owl is motivated by not being wrong. And this is very important to write this down. An owl is motivated by not making a mistake, where a bull is motivated by being right. An owl is motivated by not being wrong. Do you see the difference with that? So in the owl's case, you know who they are in your life. They're the ones that take, dubious notes. They're the ones that probably understand technology very, very well. And, in your fellow advisor friends, I'm thinking of a friend, Corrine Johnson, she's got an automation for everything. She doesn't use paper. She types everything out. She uses Trello. She uses all this stuff because she is very detail oriented, and she does not want to make a mistake. And who does in the travel industry? A mistake. If you make a mistake, it could cost your clients a vacation, or cause them to be stuck somewhere. The owls are those clients of yours that call you and they send you links of all the research they've done already. And they want to talk about the 22 options that they have narrowed it down to be able to go on a trip. Now, go ahead and type in, guys, just the first name of the last owl client that you've had. And then tell me, was it frustrating or did it feel good? And it's important that you know that. Was the last owl client you had frustrating or did it feel good? Did you kind of sit in there and go, oh, finally, someone who appreciates my detail? All right, tell me what you're
We got some frustrating's coming up on the board here. Frustrating, frustrating, frustrating. A little bit of a combination. And we have a very frustrating.
Well, chances are you are probably not an owl. If they're so frustrating, you're probably not an owl yourself. And we're going to talk again about who you think you are. So let's just recap. Our bulls are fast to decide. Prestige and status are super important. Get to the point. They don't want a lot of detail. They want you to take care of it for them. And they want to make sure that they're being given the best. Where an owl is very involved in the process, overly so, hence the reason why it can be very frustrating, is probably focused on a lot of the minutia and the details. But here's the thing about an owl. Once you've sold an owl for the first time, they will be the most loyal clients you have because they know you didn't mess up the first time. So therefore, they are not wrong, right? They didn't make a mistake and they're not going to shop around. So an owl is the most loyal of all of the personality types. You're an owl. Okay, lambs. Now, bulls are really hard-headed and to the point. Owls have a lot of detail. Lambs are without a doubt the hardest to sell because they are the ones that want to be your friend. They'll spend hours on the phone with you. They'll thank you endlessly for your time. They will praise you up and down, but then they will ghost you because lambs do not like to make decisions. Lambs want to be your friend. They like to be given direction and shown support. They're very slow to decide, and often they change their mind. Oh, I'm not sure, I read one review where it wasn't good, and I want to make sure my son is happy, and if my son finds this review, he won't be happy. Let's go ahead and switch this up. Instead of Greece, let's go to Ireland. They'll completely change their mind. They are very understanding of your mistakes. They feel bad about when they make a mistake, and they feel bad when you make a mistake. They feel bad for you. Security and well-being of others is what's most important to them, and they avoid conflict at all costs. So the reason why I say the lambs are the hardest ones is because they'll tell you yes to your face or via an email or over the phone, and they don't want to have to tell you no when the bad news comes. Lambs also are not motivated by saying things like, you deserve this. They are not motivated by this at all. They're not motivated necessarily by price. They're mostly motivated by what this experience will net their friends and their family, whoever else is traveling with them. They care more about what's going on in their lives than they do everybody else. So be careful with what you say to a lamb. Now, Andy, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of travel advisors have a very strong lamb tendency because they are the caretakers of our world, which is a good thing because you have to want to actually take care of others and put others first when you're in a service-oriented environment. The challenge that we have with lambs as being travel advisors, if this is their main personality, is that they have a tough time with communicating the tough information. They have a tough time with saying that they charge a fee. They have a tough time in giving the bad news. They're the ones that will lose sleep at night the night before somebody is traveling because they are just, so worried about their clients. Owls will lose their sleep as well, but they'll lose it because they're not sure if they crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, where a bull could care less. A bull's sleeping very well at night because they know they did a perfect job and nothing can go wrong. It would always be somebody else's fault. So do you see the difference between the three personality types so far?
I definitely do.
Yeah. So tigers. So bulls, owls, lambs, and tigers. So Tigger the tiger, I always put this one up because this reminds me of me. So just so that everybody knows, anyone who knows me can already tell that I'm a bull tiger. I'm a straight to the point. There's no muss, no fuss with me, but I'm a ton of fun. I'm a lot of fun. My team knows that I am a tiger, therefore they take great care of me because I'm not really into the details. I'm kind of like a big picture thinker. I understand I can stand on stage and talk to anybody, but I prefer others to take care of all the details. I'm very quick to decide. Tigers love recognition, which I do. They're emotional. They like excitement. They're often late for appointments. Now, I'm never late, so that's one thing I don't do.
Mm-mm.
And prestige and status are important, and they like a challenge. For a tiger, their motivator to make a decision are social relationships. They want others to have fun with them versus a lamb doesn't care about themselves. And I'm using very general statements, guys. So, please don't quote me on these. These are very stereotypical type statements that I'm using. But, a tiger is just kind of like, let's all have fun together. They're very into the we. They're very into, oh my God, let's totally take the whole family. I'm going to invite all my friends. I might have started out with only 5 people traveling. Now I've got 25 people traveling. What's the big deal? Can't you just add them? Tigers are those clients of yours that actually you can never get them to send back the credit card authorization form. Tigers are the ones that you send them a link to click and you've just highlighted it in the verbiage and they're like, well, send me the link. And they're like, it's the highlight. Like everyone knows the highlight is you click on that. But a tiger, it's not that they're stupid. They're just not paying attention to the details. So you have to make it crystal clear to them. The thing about tigers that I love so very much is that tigers are a lot of fun. They're dreamers. They will try something new. They have no problem with just taking your recommendation. And they'll say yes. You don't need to give too much information to a tiger because they're not listening to you for the most part. Versus a bull just is already on to the next thing. A tiger is thinking about what they're going to have for lunch. Hey, why does my hair look like this? And anyone who's ever watched me on a video or anything, you'll see that I'm such a tiger. I'm constantly talking about my hair, always like, oh shoot, my hair's in my face. Oh man, I'm having a hot flash. They just say what's on their mind. Tigers are great to sell to, but they are really hard to reel in. Okay, so tigers, I want everyone to tell me about the most frustrating client they've ever had with regards to getting them to send information, to confirm which package they want. I want everyone to be thinking about the last tiger relationship from a sales standpoint, from a business standpoint that you ran into. And go ahead and type that in there.
Well, while they're typing, we did have a good question.
Yeah.
Can we have a bull with feathers?
Well, I don't have any feathers. You mean like an owl, a bull owl?
A bull
Yes.
with some owl feathers, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I just realized I didn't do this other slide that I usually do, which has all of them up there at one time. So sorry about that. That's the tiger in me. So bulls are straight to the point. They are very results oriented and they can be owls. They can definitely have owl tendencies. Actually, Elizabeth McGuire, who works here, who is our marketing and events manager, she is a bull owl all day long. Bull owl. The girl never forgets a thing. She's got an iron trap of a brain. She just never forgets anything. And she's straight to the point. She also does not like people to make mistakes. And she doesn't like to make a mistake. So yes, you could definitely have that. And that's a great segue, Andy, because most of us have 2 of these personalities as our core kind of determinators of making decisions. We most likely all have a little bit of all 4. I mean, heck, here's the thing. All of us need to have a little bit of lamb, especially those of us that are listening to this call, because you have to care about other people to be in this business. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so everyone's got a little bit of lamb. All right. So I'm going to break this down as to how you adjust your approach, okay? So let's go back to the bull. If you if you have, why don't you self-identify? I want everyone to type in what they've self-identified as. That's actually probably pretty important. What are the 2 personality types that are pretty prevalent in your personality, especially when it comes to making a decision? And then read those off to me when you can, Andy.
Bull and owl, bull, tiger. We got tiger and a lamb, bull and an owl, owl, bull, lamb, bull, bull, owl, tiger, bull. A lot of bulls.
A lot of bulls.
Combination. A lot of bulls. Yeah, I'm a strong bull with a little tiger. Bull and owl and bull. Yeah, a lot of bulls.
Okay.
And that, I think that's a great thing for an entrepreneur, isn't it?
It is. It's without a doubt a great thing for an entrepreneur. So I'm going to address those that are listening to us live first, and then I'm going to address some others because I know folks listen to this after the webinar. All right, my bulls, here's the thing. You're fantastic. You are absolutely incredible at what you do. You scare the life out of these poor little lambs. Okay, you eat them alive. You've got to ask yourself a question. Do you even want a lamb for a client? Because you're going to lose patience with them. You're going to find yourself being disrespectful somewhere along the line because lambs don't make decisions quickly. So when you find yourself in the presence of a lamb and you do want to do business with them, you have to slow your pace down. You have to slow your speech. You have to look them in the eye, even if it's over email. Chances are they want to meet you. They want to do a Zoom with you. They want a conversation with you. You cannot, as a bull, tell a lamb, no, I don't want to speak to you. You will not connect with them. And what if they are a key component to a decision for a family vacation, or they're the key component in a decision for a corporate client? Bulls, you have to watch yourself. You have to realize lambs are scared of you. You scare them. They're not scared of you. You scare them. Okay. Bulls that are dealing with owls. Bulls, my friends. Owls, you will win them every time if all you do is add this one phrase to your sales all the time. What other questions can I answer for you? What other questions can I answer for you? Bulls, you might have a very strong process, and owls want to know what that process is. So in the very beginning, because this is really all about gaining control from the beginning of the relationship. So if you're a bull, or if I'm going to tell you, everybody that deals with an owl, write these phrases down. You're going to say things like, I have a 27-step process that we will walk through, arm in arm. Everything will be in writing. Owls love that. You are more than welcome to send over any research that you have seen, but I am the expert. I will look at it, but please trust that I'm doing my due diligence. Use the words due diligence, processes, contracts. Actually, an owl will trust you more if you charge a fee because you take yourself seriously. Do not push an owl for the credit card. Instead, in the very beginning of your process with an owl, you're going to say to them, I'm super happy to meet you. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking for, what's motivating you to go on this trip, blah, blah, blah. And then you're just going to say, let me share with you the first 5 steps of my 27-step process. The first 5 steps are the discovery call. I'll take some notes. I'll get your input. I'm then going to send over 3 quotes. With an owl, you have to take control and tell them you're only going to send them 3 quotes. I'm going to send you 3 options based on our conversation. I'm going to then we're going to set up a time for 2 p.m. on Tuesday to review those options. And at that time, you'll need to know which credit card you'd like to use to go ahead and put a hold on this, or to reserve, or to put down a deposit. So you have to tell them what that is and share with them why. They're going to want to know terms and conditions ahead of time. They're going to want to know all that. And as a matter of fact, if you're the one that says, would you like me to send the terms and conditions over ahead of time? They'll go, yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. And before you do any research, send them all of that and share with them what that process is. I will tell you, owls are going to be your best customers, because once you sell an owl, they will tell everybody about you because they find it that they've done a good job. Now, if you're a bull and you're like, yeah, and you're talking to an owl and you're like, yeah, just tell me what it is. I'm going to send you 3 or 4 things and you just make a decision on what it is and let me know. You're not going to do well with an owl. You're not going to connect well. They're going to ask you 25 more questions than normal because you aren't respecting who they are and what's important to them. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions so far? I'm talking to mostly bulls. So if you've got a long process, if you're an owl advisor and you have a long process and you're talking to a bull, so let's go back to that. Here's this owl that thinks everybody needs to know everything, and you're talking to a bull, you're going to lose them. And the reason you're going to lose them and they're going to interrupt you and they're not going to listen to the good stuff is because owls think you need a whole bunch of options to send over before someone's going to make a decision. And if you're talking to a bull, they don't. When you're talking to a bull, you're going to tell them which American Express are you going to use. As a matter of fact, bulls, if you don't use the word American Express, that's an insult to them because all bulls have American Expresses. Don't say it's Visa, MasterCard, Discover. It's which American Express are you going to use. With a bull, if you send them this long laundry list of stuff, they're not going to read it. And so therefore, they're not going to they won't make a decision with you. They'll move on to somebody else. So bulls, straight to the point, standard stuff. Now, we know that in this business, there are things that people what? Right?
We got some giggles about all of the bulls have Amex.
Yeah, it's true. You test it out. Which American Express will you be using? Well, I've got a Delta Platinum. They'll tell you what it is. That's what's hilarious about a bull. That's what's hilarious about them. With bulls, to sell them, guys, use words like exclusive. I'm calling you first. Brand new, just opened. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put together something special just for you. Prestige and status are important to a bull. But if you are an owl and you send this long thing, bulls are not going to read it and they're going to probably ignore you. And they're not going to trust you. Bulls will call and yell at you, you yell right back. Bulls respect people who stand up for themselves. Bulls respect you if you charge fees. Okay, so those are the bulls and the owls. Lambs are the hardest to sell. They don't make decisions. They wait for everybody else to tell them what to do. They don't like conflict, so they won't return your calls. I have found that in my sales career of all my life, lambs are the absolute hardest to sell. All right, let's talk about tigers. Now, tigers, is anybody, I think I heard a couple of tigers. All right, for my tigers out there, or actually for my bulls, bulls and tigers get along really well. The problem is tigers will not return your phone calls. They operate basically on text messages, Facebook message, anything that's more social. And so therefore, if you can have a process where you're kind of piecemealing this information to them, or you put it all together and send it to the tiger at one time, then you're going to win. With a tiger, you're going to use words like, oh my God, I just want you to put your Valley Girl hat on, right? So with tigers, it's always like the latest, the greatest, but not from a prestige standpoint. It's like, oh my God, this place is so fun. Tigers like, and then you can tell tigers, don't worry about it, girlfriend. Don't worry about it, big guy. I got you. You can say things like this. I got you. I'm going to send everything to you in an email. I need 7 minutes of your time. I'm going to highlight the most important things. As a matter of fact, if I were a travel advisor, I would be highlighting stuff. Anytime there's color, tigers are very excited about color. They pay attention to color. They like it when you do things in big, bold, so they know what they need to pay attention to. Tigers, you're going to tell them, all right, girlfriend. And again, I'm speaking in stereotypes, but you're going to be, all right, girlfriend, I'm going to send over what I think is going to be the most fun for you. Definitely going to fit what you're looking for. And give me a call. I'm going to text you when I send it to you via email, and give me a call right back. Tigers like to do things very quick. They're very fast to decide. Do not overthink anything with a tiger. A tiger you could talk to at a holiday party, or you could be at a bar sitting next to a tiger that you've never met before. As soon as you see him, you could start talking about, these brand new resorts, or hey, the Celebrity Beyond's coming out, what would you like? And this could be a complete stranger, and all of a sudden they're whipping out their credit card and they're booking with you. Tigers make that type of decision because it's fun. All right. Bulls and tigers get along just fine. Bulls and tigers get along just fine. The biggest difference is tigers love to have fun. Social relationships are super important to a tiger, where with a bull, it's the prestige and status. Just change your words. With a bull, you talk fast. With a tiger, you talk fast. With an owl and a lamb, you speak slowly. With an owl and a lamb, you ask more questions and you ask them if they have any more questions. All right, so that is the gist of it. There's not much more to it than that. So y'all type in your questions, because I think I know what some of your questions are going to be. So I want to be able to overcome those either objections or help you with someone. Maybe you're thinking of somebody right now that you're dealing with, and maybe one part of the party is a bull and another one is a lamb, or one's a tiger and another one's an owl. You know, they always say opposites attract, and that's usually what happens in a partnership. Anybody typing in any questions? I'd love to, you know, hear the story of somebody who's.
I can definitely tell you that me and my wife are complete opposites, but we function very well because of it.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah.
I think that that's so true. The opposites attract.
They do. My husband is an owl lamb. I'm a bull tiger. I mean, it's as simple as that. I understand as a bull, though, I can't say, oh yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Instead, I say things like, I've done my research, and here are the different websites that I've gone to. And I think Closet Evolution is the closet system we should go with. I've compared it for it being delivered to our home versus you picking it up. Here's what I'm thinking about. Can you take some time and take a look at it? As a bull, I would have already ordered it and paid for someone to install it, right? As a tiger, oh my God, it's pretty. I like that color. I think I can hang my dresses and my shoes will go there. I would have already ordered it and had it installed by the time my husband actually says yes. So, but I understand this about him, so I set my expectations appropriately. And it's the same with your clients, guys. It's the exact same.
A couple of comments. My first clients were lambs. That had to be challenging.
It is. It's a big waste of time. So write these things down. And then what I did when I was a salesperson was I looked at all of my processes and if I were an advisor, I would look at all my processes. And this is not to say you change your processes, guys. What this says is that you have to find, if you're dealing with a tiger and they're not going to read the detail, you got to ask them, hey, who in your world actually likes to read terms and conditions? And they're going to tell you, oh, that's Julie. All right, can Julie and I talk for a few minutes and let me get through this with her? They always have somebody in their life that helps them. My husband fills out all my doctor paperwork because I have no time to fill that out. He does all of that. And it's not that the doctor doesn't get what they want. I have no time for it, nor do I have any desire, but my owl husband loves to read all that doctor's paperwork. So everyone's got the opposite in their life. The key to understanding this is understand there are differences. Understand who you are and how you have to change your pace, your tone, the way you present things to the others. Understand who they are so you can match, adjust your approach, and then you'll make the connection. When I was in sales, every time I met a family that came through the door, there was all, you know, the two decision makers in this case were the spouses, right? The husband and wife. They were the decision makers if it was like a family. Or even if it's a single person, there's always another decision maker in their life. I always wrote down a B, an O, an L, or a T next to their name. And I could stand there and talk to a bull and an owl at the same time and meet both of their needs in the same sentence. Because I would adjust, I would say, you know, here's the thing. This is a big purchasing decision, and there are a lot of factors that play into it. What I'm excited about for you is this is a brand new community. This is a brand new resort, and everybody and their brother is going to want to book for it. So that statement, what are the two people that I'm appealing to? I'm appealing to the owl. This is a, you know, it's a process that we have to go through, and it's a big decision. And I'm appealing to the bull. Yeah, this is brand spanking new, and no one's stayed there before. So you can appeal to both of them as you're chatting with them. And then now you know who to send the stuff to make the decision on. Just make sure you tell the bull, you know, tell me which American Express you guys are using. And then they'll have respect for you. All right, I would love to do a challenge. If not, I'm done with sharing this. Don't overthink it. Know who you are, know who you're talking to, and adjust your approach. Tell me if there's any questions.
It's great advice. I mean, it's something that I constantly forget about is the personalities of who we deal with and who we talk with and how we can cater more efficiently to better communicate with them. It's such great advice.
Well, heck, don't you have people that always tell you things like, if you just put a smiley emoji at the end of that, I would have known you weren't serious. I would have known you were okay. It's the same thing. So a tiger with a smiley emoji,
Or a heart maybe, depending on the day.
Well, the heart always makes us smile, but a heart is what the lamb is looking for. Okay, well then I'm going to share 3 resources that you can build off of what we've just talked about on the bulls, lambs, owls, and tigers. And these are all webinars that I have done with my friends at Travel Professional News. And if you go to their website and you click on Video Library, which I've got highlighted here for you, if you click on Video Library, there's 3 other ones that I would recommend. One is 5 word swaps that will increase your sales. And I talk about 5 different phrases that if you just change that one word or you change that one way you say something, it will without a doubt increase your sales. The next one is curating a loyal fan base, which is a fan base that will be talking about you all the time. And I'm not talking about getting reviews and testimonials, but understanding what is it that we really need to know as humans for us to feel loyal to something. That's actually one of my favorite ones I've done. So it's called curating a loyal fan base. And then the third one is 20 foundational pieces for your business. At TPI, we do an event called the Building Your Legacy event, and it's designed to help answer the question, where do I want my business to be in the next 3 years and how am I going to get there? And this is one of the exercises we do, and it's so shocking to me that many business owners that have been in business for years, like 20 years, 20 plus years, they're missing half of these foundational pieces. So this is a good one for you to kind of take a self-assessment and say, gosh, I didn't realize I needed a hit by a bus plan. Gosh, I didn't realize I needed to know what I'm building towards. So those are the 3. You can go to Travel Professional News and listen to those. And if you've got any questions from them, you're welcome to reach out to me. And then I want to invite everybody to join our Fiercely Forward Travel Advisors Facebook page. It's not a TPI page. It's a page I started during COVID just to keep things, and there's a lot more members now. I just realized that's an old picture. It's just to keep things moving fiercely forward. We post great quotes, ideas. We don't talk about vendors or suppliers. We don't talk about any of that stuff. We really just say what's some positive things out there to help you, kind of get over the hump of frustration, which we all hit from time to time. And then if anybody wants to reach out to me, they're welcome to do so.
I got a couple little comments. First off, do you have some questions that you can use to determine a new client style? So like the first phone call, the first interaction.
Yep.
What tips do you have for Val to really nail that in?
Excellent question, Val. Thanks for asking it. I always encourage our advisors to ask this as one of your very first questions. And you'll know if you're talking to a bull right away because they don't want to answer this question. But you want to say, what's motivating you to go on this trip? So first off, you'll know a bull, an owl, a lamb, or a tiger. You'll know a bull pretty quickly just by the way they have originally reached out to you. A bull will send an email that says, hey, I want to go to Greece, call me. They're straight to the point, right? I want to go to Greece, call me. You already know now you're dealing with a straight to the point person before you even pick up the phone. When they call you, they say things like, hey, I was talking to my, one of my coworkers and they were telling me Greece is hot right now. How much does it cost? You'll know that's a bull. An owl will send you a really long email. Here are the 15 things I'm considering. I'd like an opportunity to schedule an appointment with you so that we can go over all these things. It's in their verbiage. It's in the length of their communication. A lamb will, you'll probably meet them and they may call and leave you a really long voicemail message. You'll know you're working with a lamb when you ask that question, what's motivating you to go on this trip? And they give you a very emotional story and they don't ever talk about themselves. Rarely will you hear a lamb talk about their needs. So during your discovery phase, you're going to hear them talk, my husband this, my wife this, my daughter, my son, my sister, whatever, my friends. It's important that this is good for them. A lamb will tell you when you ask that question, what is motivating you? They will tell you that. And a tiger will just say, I want to have fun. Tigers will be distracted. They'll take another phone call while they're on the call with you. They'll have misspelled words in their email, not because they don't know how to spell, they're just typing so fast they don't know. Chances are a tiger has communicated with you very first time, Facebook message and very short, or text message. And they'll always tell you that, so it's Sylvia told me to call you. My good girlfriend Sylvia told me to call you. My bestie Bob told me to call you. They'll use words like that. Now you know you're working with a tiger. It's not hard. If for the next 24 to 48 hours, and actually if many of you, you have your customer list in front of you or whatever, if you're using a CRM, we have a CRM here at TPI and that our advisors can put tags on it. And I've encouraged our advisors to tag their individual contacts with the tag of tiger, the tag of bull, the tag of owl, the tag of lamb. So if there's something that's like, something that's like an emotional group you're putting together, or something that's very, warm and touchy and feely, you can pull all the lambs out and give them a call. If it's a brand new resort that's opening up, or a kick butt ship, you can call all your bulls and just say, oh my God, hot off the press, Celebrity Beyond is ready. I keep using celebrity because I'm thinking of it right now. Celebrity Beyond, you're one of the first people to call. If there's a great sale out there, then you can pull the tags of owls, and then you could send an email, because they like everything in email, and send an email and say, here are 3 promos that I just found to go to Mexico. Wanted to make sure I got that over to you. Feel free to reach out to me for more details. Do you see how you can use this? And it doesn't mean you have to change. You don't have to change as a human. You just have to understand that the way you communicate and connect with others isn't necessarily the way the other 75% of the people you're talking to communicates and connects with others. Make sense?
That's great advice. Yeah, that's great advice. Totally. She loves it. She loves it. Marion, to access your question about accessing those videos that Jen mentioned, no, you do not need to be a member of TPI. They're just on travelprofessionalnews.com. And the Fiercely Forward Facebook page that Jen mentioned, you do not need to be a member of TPI as well. Is that right, Jen?
That is correct. Yeah, actually, you'll hear that we don't, when I do these webinars, I do it to elevate the industry, the community. This is not about recruiting anybody. Not at all. We want to elevate the industry as a company. We want to elevate the industry. We've been in business for 35 years. We love doing it. So anything and everything that I offer has nothing to do with being a part of the TPI family. Good question, though. Thanks for asking that.
And which animal or which character would be the spender that loves a deal? Like, that sale.
The owl.
Do you think that
the owl?
The owl.
And the tiger to a certain degree, because they spend too much money to begin with, and they like a good deal, so they can say yes quickly. But the owl loves it.
Makes sense.
The bull isn't necessarily motivated by saving money. That's not their motivation. Their motivation is having the best experience and someone else taking care of it.
Quality.
The quality.
Yeah.
Quality is very important to a bull. Prestige and status are very important to a bull. As a matter of fact, if you even talked about an inside cabin or an ocean view with a bull, you will have disrespected them big time.
That makes sense. Well, this is such great information, Jen, and thank you so much for the time today. We've got some prizes here.
Yeah.
We got 30 minutes of your time, and can I win this? Because I miss talking to you so much.
You can call me anytime. You have an open door policy with me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to select the 5th correct answer. So get your fingers on that keyboard. Question number 1: who wins a 30-minute consultation with Jenn Lee? Which personality type is the hardest to rein in? Which personality type is the hardest to rein in? Wow. Well, okay. We've got a lot of answers here, and unfortunately, these are not the right ones. So
Oh
let
my
me
goodness, I
jump
even
in here.
said it.
I know. I'm gonna award the winner here.
Okay.
So Bethany Coleman,
Hi, Beth.
congratulations.
Congrats,
You've got
Bethany.
this answer. Yes, you've got that answer correct. And the answer was a tiger, but we had a lot of lambs.
Oh, well, you know why? Because they're thinking of that they're hard to close. So, because lambs are very hard to close, they take a long time to make a decision. But a tiger is hard to rein in. So I can see why. You know what? Give the fifth person that said lamb 30 minutes, because I can see why you would say that. That definition of the word reining in can mean a couple of things.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I absolutely get it. I'm gonna write down both here for you.
Okay, good.
And we've got one more question here. Are we ready? Fingers
Yes.
on the keyboards. Here we go. Which personality type will most likely waste your time and, quote, ghost you? Great verbiage. I like that. That was good. I just got ghosted by a general contractor today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. I'm looking at Christopher Gamble.
All right.
Congratulations, my friend. The correct answer for this was the lamb.
That is correct. It's funny because so many people feel like the lamb is the hardest, and it's true. It is. It's so true.
It makes so much sense. I mean, it really is. I mean, each one has their pros and cons, right? I mean, it really does.
Of course.
And
Yep.
I think this is such great information for any advisor who's looking to close that new deal or land that new client, to really pay attention to their personality type and cater to it to make that sale even easier. Because ultimately, the less time you spend on a sale, the more money you're making, right?
Well, that, and also just understand it's the basics to connection. Connection is saying that you understand me and I understand you. And if we're the ones that are driving the conversation, then it's up to us to adjust so that they understand us, right? So that we're presenting it in a way that is of understanding.
Absolutely.
All
Well,
right.
Jen,
Well,
I can't tell. You know what? This was actually one of the funnest ones I've done. I'm really happy Joni wasn't available today because this was a great one for me to listen to today too.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good. It's an oldie but goodie, but I thought it was time we talked about it again, because it is one of the most powerful tools in your toolbox if you adjust appropriately.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, one last question to just chime in here from Sumner. Is there a personality test to give to clients like this, like for fun, but you also get the information from it?
I'm sure there is. If you go to you can go to Charles Clark Consulting. He is the one that came up with this. I don't even know if the poor man's even alive any longer. He was very old when I met him 20 years ago. But Charles Clark Consulting, I don't know if he's got a test that you can download. I think it would be.
You could probably
like,
make one too pretty easily, right?
Yeah. Is it important to you to have all the details in writing? Why? Because it could be in writing that the tiger is going to say, because I'm going to forget, and the owl's going to say, because I want to double check, and the lamb's always going to say yes. The bull would probably tell you no. That's a good question, though. I think it's up to you. I've always looked at it as it's up to me to understand and to make that adjustment. That's why I have this Zig Ziglar quote: success happens when opportunity meets preparation. So, your next phone call, your next inquiry, go back and look at this and say, who am I dealing with, and adjust based on that.
Great information. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. This webinar will be live on our YouTube channel in about 2 hours, and it'll be live on Travel Professional News tomorrow morning once our API updates. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and most of all, thank you, Jen. This was awesome. I really appreciate you and your knowledge and your time and your outlook. It's such a pleasure to do these with.
Always. Thanks, guys. All right, go out there and kick some butt. That's very much a
Have a great day, everyone, and thank you again.
Bye.